Today we are make some real Rasta food. This is so good. Why is this no more popular? Ital Stew is a dish born out of necessity. Polyculture is big in the Rastafarian communities, so it's usually whatever you can find on the farm stewed down in coconut milk. Not a real Rasta, but growing up my folks planted a lot of different foods similar to how the Rastas them do it. We didn't buy vegetables, just take a walk through the farm and we had everything we need for dinner. Everything fresh and healthy. I don't have a farm now, so I got some local veg from the farmer's market. These are things you might find on a local farm. Here I have some pak chai. Kalaloo, or as the Rastaman them call it, Ilaloo, is what's typically used in Ital Stew, but I couldn't get any. Kale and spinach works too, it's really whatever you can find. Coconut is the backbone of this stew. I'm going to juice this for its milk. You could use canned coconut, but this is probably 5 to 10 times better. Rasta food uses a lot of coconut, and it's the primary source of fat for a traditional Rasta diet. Next we have the veggies. Most of these are usually starchy root vegetables fresh from the farm, so each pot of Ital Stew would have varied wildly based on what was available. Ital Stew typically has a long ingredients list, and even if you don't live on a farm, it's a delicious way to use up veggies trying to go bad in your fridge. Veggie chunks. This is a big part of the Rasta diet. These are made from soy and are really high in protein, so it's a decent meat replacement. From my understanding, veggie chunks or soya chunks should be consumed in moderation, but that's kinda with everything. Everything in moderation. If you cook these up the right way, it's really hard to distinguish them from meat. They come dried out, so you have to rehydrate them by soaking them in room temperature water for a good 15 minutes. Use hot water if you want them extra soft. Next we have raw peanut. This adds a lot more nutrients to the stew. The Rastaman them always a plant peanut. I have a can of broad bean. Ital Stew always have peas and beans. And a can of corn. Not corn on the cob, which is typical, but this will have to do. Pimento or allspice, this adds a lot of depth of flavor to the stew. Next we prep these. I'm going to dice all the vegetables the same size. One of the most pleasurable things about Ital Stew is the wide variety of textures you get to enjoy in just one dish. This is peak vegan food, loaded with nutrients, delicious and filling. If I was not filming this, I would be prepping and adding directly to the pot. I'm just adding a bit of water to the vegetables so they don't change color before I'm ready to cook. Alright, the veggie chunks are fully hydrated. Pour off the water and set that aside. All the veggies are prepped and everything is ready, so it's time to cook. Hey, just a reminder to like the video and drop a comment down below. I also blended and juiced the coconut, so it's time to get stewing. Pot on. Coconut oil is typically used. It tastes great, but it's not great for sauteing, so I'm using a splash of vegetable oil. A whole bulb of chopped garlic in. That's like half cup of chopped scallion. Hot pepper. I ran out of scotches, so I'm using chocolate habanero. Be very conservative with this. About a tablespoon and a half of finely chopped ginger. A tablespoon of ground pimento. We want a proper saute on this because here is where the base of the flavors in this dish come from. It's okay to go crazy with the herbs and spices. Be extra with the season. Ital Stew can really take it. I'm also adding 2 medium sliced onions. And a bit of fresh thyme. Dried thyme is a scam. Next, just saute that until it starts to caramelize and becomes fragrant. Peanut goes in. I'm adding ingredients by how long they take to cook. Diced carrots go in next. Diced yellow yam. This will hold up pretty well. Diced dasheen. I really love dasheen. Keep that moving so nothing burns. Green banana. These bananas are more mature, so they won't overcook too fast. This is really loaded. We could stop here and still have a proper Ital Stew. Ital food usually doesn't have salt, but I'm not that Rasta, so I need a generous pinch. We had a proper saute, so I can go ahead and add the coconut milk now. That's going to deglaze the pot, releasing the little flavorful bits of brown seasoning on the bottom. This smells so good already. This will taste better the longer it cooks. The flavor of the coconut will get nuttier and sweeter. Alright, I'm going to cover this and bring it to a simmer. This dish actually cooks really quick, especially if you dice your veggies like I do here. The rest of the veggies I will be adding cook much quicker, so I'm ensuring these are cooked through before I add them. Ital comes from the word vital. Rasta changed the pronunciation of a lot of English words, dropping the first consonant and replacing it with I. This is to emphasize oneness with God and nature and remove the negative connotations of some words. I'll use an example. Also going to give this a taste to see how we are doing. Good, good. Nice. Next, add the soaked veggie chunks. I really like the texture. It looks a lot like meat though. Pumpkin. I kept the skin on for texture. Diced sweet potato. This adds a slight sweetness. Kernel corn. Maybe just half of this, not trying to overdo any one thing. Looking good. This just needs a few more minutes to get everything nice and tender. Sweet potato is cooked. Pumpkin is way too crunchy though, so I'm gonna give this another minute or two. Some of the veggies will break down and thicken the stew, so I'm not too worried about overcooking, but I don't want a pot of just mush. Alright, that's basically done. Give it a taste. Needs a little bit more salt, and at this point I can add the broad beans, okra, and pak chai. Residual heat will cook these so they can go in at the very end. You could use half the vegetables I use here and still have a great stew, so don't let the quantity intimidate you. Give that a taste. Alright, that's perfect. That looks so good, and in typical feed and teach style, we have to plate it up. Nothing says Rasta more than eating out of a calabash. I really love these. Don't know if it's just me, but food tastes so much better when you have it out of one of this. That's a lovely bowl of Ital Stew. I could have this just as it is. It's a full, complete meal, but I really enjoy Ital Stew with some steamed white rice. That's beautiful. Hit that rice with some parsley for pretty, and let's give this a taste to see how we did. I mean, I already tasted this, so I know it's great, but I want to try it with the rice. It's really flavorful and satisfying. The variety of textures and the rich coconut is what stands out in this one. You have so many different flavors and textures working in harmony. This is not just super nutritious, but really pleasurable to eat. Ital is vital. This was great. Leave a like or comment if you agree. Thanks for watching, squad. Check the description for ways to support the channel. Drop a sub and turn on notifications so you don't miss new uploads, and I will catch you in the next one.